Because in the end, of course, we want to live in a society where people are polite and respectful, but it makes a huge difference where that politeness is coming from. When it's politeness because you know you're a badass monster who can do whatever the fuck he wants, and you're just being polite, that's one thing, and people can feel it. Or you're insecure, you're looking for approval, you're not really sure what you're doing here, and you're being nice because if someone rejected you, that would break your heart. Very, very different energies, and women can feel that. Today I want to talk about the epidemic of nice guys. There's the saying, nice guys finish last, and from personal experience I feel like that is true. But what is a nice guy? Where does this all come from, and what can you do to move past that? If you're always doing the right thing but you never get exactly what you want, then keep watching. So I want to preface that this is just ongoing research that I've cultivated from my own relationships, from friends, by analyzing the dynamics and reading on it. So this is not the Bible, and I want to share in case it can be helpful. But before we go any deeper, we have to explore what is a nice guy. In my definition, a nice guy is someone who overrides his own feelings, thoughts, emotions, desires to get approval from the tribe, or more specifically, women. The female equivalent of this is the doormat. If I just do everything right and take care of everyone's needs, then everyone's gonna love me, right? But that's not exactly how it works. A nice guy is a shell of a person. There is something inside. There's a whole person, a soul, a personality, but it is hidden behind a layer of masks designed to keep him safe. The masks are a technology to get your needs met, so to be loved and accepted, but it's not really working. And nice guys, or female doormats, end up feeling very resentful because they say, I'm doing all of this for you, look at me, I'm such a good person, and you still won't give me what I want. But the truth is, this behavior is manipulative because you're not presenting your true self and your true emotions. You're presenting a front so that you can get something that you're looking for by being indirect and manipulating your way into it. So all in all, this has to do with a worthiness issue, and that's what we're going to explore in this video. If this is resonating, make sure to like and subscribe to support this channel. And this epidemic of nice guys, where previously children grew up, on the farm, grew up with and were around their dads. And in the previous century, a lot of men either went to war or went to work. And so children were now reared in institutions that mostly had female teachers that imposed their view of the world. And schools went from separate to co-ed. And there was also a lot of feminist messaging, a lot of revenge for what men did. So I think there was born this guilt of, what it means to be a man. And there was really not a lot of role models. So I think a lot of men came out with this feeling like there's something wrong with them, this feeling of unworthiness, and that the only people who can give them that true approval are women. And this is where it kind of all went wrong. Women really don't want their partner to be looking to them for approval. Everyone desires an edge. And an edge is somebody who's integrated and knows who they are and that they're a whole and complete person, and that if I treat you terribly, I know that you're going to leave. Because in truth, nobody likes douchebags either. Maybe some women find them attractive in the beginning because of wounding, but in reality, nobody wants to be with someone who treats them like shit over and over and over again, especially in long-term committed relationships with children. Again, that's something for us as women to work through, but in long-term, everyone wants a whole integrated person. Because the problem is they're not being nice to women and to other people because they truly want to be nice. It's because they seek approval. And it seems like the same action, but there's an ocean of difference in the energy. So people subconsciously feel your need for approval, and they, in service to you, reject you. it might sound counterintuitive, but as people, we subconsciously want everyone to succeed. And when you are coming to me from a place of victimization and feeling like you're not enough, then I can feel that, and I want to challenge you to rise up to the stage where you can see your own greatness. So if women are rejecting your niceness over and over and over, then it's a sign there's something there. So all in all, it comes down to not having these subconscious attachments, because it's not a clean interaction. You're coming into this relationship expecting, well, if I'm nice, then you should treat me well, be with me. But you want to be nice, or treat someone well, because that's what you want to do, not because you're nervous of what might happen if you showed your true authentic self, your emotion in the moment, your experience in the moment, and you're putting up a facade. And I think there's a women's version of that as well, but today, the video is dedicated to men. And if you'd like to go deeper, I've created a resource that encompasses everything you need to know to get started on your healing journey, from meditations to tips to recommended books. It's a digestible product to get you started in the direction of your dreams, and I'll link it below. And this dynamic can really be illustrated in How I Met Your Mother through Robin and Patrice. And again, they're not, it's not male, female, but the same energy of like this endless adoration can be really irritating when someone is like obsessed with you and does not see any flaws. The way that Robin reacts is basically how women feel inside, because you want someone who is embodied and doesn't need your approval for their whole being and existence and survival. If you've had experience with this in your own life, or you know of friends who've gone through this, comment below and I'd love to hear your stories. So what can you do? I always like to leave you with actionable tips. So watch my videos, because all my personal development content really relates to this. And I think the biggest thing is raising your self-image and self-worth and disconnecting it from other people's approval. Having a creative outlet, because we all have a lot of thoughts, and it might be a blog, it might be a podcast, it might be a website, it might be a startup, it might be volunteering, maybe. So just having a creative outlet so that all your thoughts and all these processes aren't just pent up inside you, and they're not just waiting for, a mate to release them on. Third is male community. That is so essential. And I think in today's world, we're so far removed from having these groups. Women are a little bit better at creating that, but especially for men, having strong role models, if it has to be a paid container, be it, but also create a peer group of people that you look up to, so you can have the emotional, mental support, and you don't have to drop everything on your partner. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and liking the tips I'm sharing, make sure to like the video. And challenges. I think part 4 is that you're really challenging yourself, because when you surpass the version that you thought you were going to be, you respect yourself, and your partner, or women in general, will respect you, because you prove that you're growing and you're evolving. I think for men, achievement is very different than women, and making sure you are affirming yourself in the world through physical embodiment, so like going to the gym, becoming strong, living in the body you would want to live in, crushing it in your career, making money, being respected and valued by your community. So affirming yourself. And 5 is doing this deep inner work of alignment, of healing wounds, of healing trauma, healing parent misunderstandings, anything that really hurt you, if you were bullied, if your parents didn't do what you wanted them to do, to really have complete ownership of your inner experience, so you can be emotional and you can have tenderness. Because again, like, women don't want some emotionless douchebag, we want someone with a range. And so at that point, you are you are completely embodied and have access to your intuition, to your emotion, to your tenderness, and you're fully embodying yourself in in and of the world. A ceremony, something to mark passage from childhood to adulthood and then adulthood into fatherhood, to have some kind of ritual to commemorate a passage into a new stage. Because before there was an initiation, there were rituals put in place for young men to go from adolescence into adulthood, and that really doesn't exist anymore. I'm not an expert on male embodiment and male achievement. This is a perspective from the other side, but there's a lot of coaches that I haven't had personal experience with. I can link some below as a starting point. Again, never put in all your eggs in one basket and don't follow anyone religiously, but I think these are good resources to start and see what resonates. Take what you like and leave the rest, but I think there's a lot more support right now existing for males. So it's really not the best time to be a man, and it's very hard because I feel like all you get is criticism and not enough guidance around what you should be doing. But I think it's rising, this new wave of leadership and of initiation. And I assume this would apply to same-sex relationships. I haven't explored that, so I'd be curious to see if what I'm saying applies. Now that you're aware of the problem, the next step is really diving deep into worthiness. So watch this video where I'll dive into restoring a high self-esteem.